What's up, everybody? We are live. We have a good card this Saturday night. UFC Apex. We got Tyron Woodley versus Gilbert Burns. And joining me is my co-host, used to be here for a long time. Then, he died. He came back to life. Kelton, what's up, my man?
What's up, man? I'm very happy to be back here. It's been quite a while since I've co-hosted the show. I think the last time I was on your channel, we were doing like a fight companion for Colby Usman. You remember that? Like you were with your friend trying to order pizza and shit. So it's been a while. I know. Now I'm back. We're going to be doing this thing on a regular basis. I'm looking forward to it. We have an incredible string of fights coming up, man. This past weekend sucks because they give us 3 cards in a week span, and then we get a weekend with nothing. But let's get going, man. We got like 5 or 6 straight, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we were just talking about off air next week, Corey Sandhagen versus Aljo. I mean, that fight alone should be a main event. I mean, I cannot wait to talk about that fight.
Yeah, that's an incredible fight, man. The winner should definitely fight for the title, of course.
Yeah, 100%. So back on, UFC, let's talk about the last card. Obviously, I don't want to talk about it. You don't want to talk about it. We're going to have to talk about it a little bit. Alistar Overeem went out there and beat Wall Harris. Yeah, what do you think about that fight?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll tell the viewers what I just told you. Like, I had a Claudia Gadelha Walt Harris parlay, and like going into that, I was pretty pissed the way the Gadelha fight was going. I could have easily lost that bet. I was pretty ashamed. I parlayed her at -200, but it came through for me. Some decisions, close ones, didn't go through for me, but that one did. I'm like, all right, that came through for me. Walt's definitely gonna win. Then Walt rocks Alistar, gets on top, just starts bashing away. Props to Alistar for getting out of it, but then Walt made some questionable decisions, kind of threw a sloppy front kick and somehow ended up on his ass. And as soon as Overeem grappled him for about 5 seconds, it was pretty much done from there, man. It was a formality. He was completely gassed. And I mean, let's be honest, he wasn't in the best shape. Like, I think full camp, Walt Harris can probably still knock out Alistar Overeem at least 6 or 7 times out of 10, in my opinion. But yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes. Props to Alistar Overeem, though, man. I mean, such a legend, still knocking out top 10 guys after such a long career. I mean, dude's got a lot more than 9 lives, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. I had Wall Harris pretty heavy on DraftKings. I picked him. He went out there and got the loss. It is what it is. Claudia Gadelha versus Angela Hill. That was a great fight. Back and forth fight. Personally, I scored it for Hill, but I mean, I could see Claudia. It wasn't a robbery, in my opinion.
Yeah, obviously first round clear Claudia, second round clear Angie, and then in the third round, I felt like Claudia definitely picked up from the second round. Like, she looked way better. She was just throwing more, and her punches had more power behind them rather than Angela Hill's. So I think the judges just favored that a little more, just the power. And like I think the stats were pretty close. It was like, I think Angie might have outstruck her like 35-33, but I think Claudia's 33s definitely did a little more damage. So no robbery by any means, but it could have gone either way.
It all came down that third round for sure.
Came down to like the last 30 seconds.
Yeah. The next fight, Ige versus Barboza. Obviously, like, I'm not gonna sit here and say like Barboza couldn't have got that win. He definitely could have if he would have won. I could see it. I mean, I thought it was a very close fight either way. But I bet on Ige. I got very lucky because if it wasn't for Ige, I would have had like a -12 unit night. So that would have been really, really bad. Probably like my worst night ever. So I think I only had like a -5 unit night. But I mean, we'll talk about the fluffy fight later. But yeah, man, I got lucky there. But Ige looked good, dude. Ige proved, in my opinion, that he's a top 10 dude. I mean, the guy gets better every fight. The guy's so tough, dude. I mean, the fact that he ate all that punishment against Barboza, I mean, and his boxing, dude. Like, his boxing wasn't there, dude, on Contender Series. I mean, the kid's boxing, or against Arson. I mean, the guy's boxing is legit. So props to Ige, props to Barboza. I mean, he'll be back for sure. But I do think Ige won the fight, personally. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I had no money on the line. I scored it for Barboza live. I rewatched it. I scored it for Barboza again, but like, again, incredibly close. Like, came down to that second round, but it's just a matter of how you score, man, because like Ige was winning the first 4 minutes of that second round with just pressure and volume, but then Edson hurt him at the end. But like, it wasn't like the way he hurt him in the first round. The way he hurt him in the first round, that was bad. That I thought we were on the verge of finish there. The way he hurt him in the second, I never really felt like Ige was in danger of really being finished. But I ended up still giving that round to Edson because I thought that last minute was the most significant minute of the second round. But I don't think it was a robbery. I thought it could have gone either way. This was the card of incredibly close fights.
Yeah, man. What a great fight, though. So the next fight after that, a terrible fight, Jocko versus Anders. Yeah, we both bet on you bet on Anders too, right?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I'm done with Anders. I like the guy, but I mean, I might pick him personally. Like, it depends on the fight, but I'm never betting him again. I don't care if he fights Power Bar, the guy on the roster in the division. I'm not betting Anders. He had no game plan. Me and Clint, shout out to Clint, diehard MMA. We were talking about a terrible game plan. Like, why would you go out there and try to wrestle him? You have more power on the feet. Terrible.
Dude, I mean, the thing was, like, going into this fight, and I'm sure you had the same mindset to me, like, Jocko was up there on that fade list. Like, in 2020, like, sure, he was the man a few years ago, but he's up there on that fade list. And I guess, like, just because of the way his chin was looking, just the two guys he beat prior to this fight, I think we were just more looking at Jocko as a fade more than Anders. Anders was plus money. We knew he has power. He could knock out Jocko, but, like, we just completely brushed over the fact that Eric Anders is probably just as much of a fade. And the thing is with this fight, man, like, Anders gets a guy that's incredibly chinny, and he comes out there with a wrestling game plan. And you know what the craziest part about it? And I think that just proves how, like, shot and just not in his prime Jocko is anymore, is the fact that Anders almost won that fight with this fucking terrible game plan. Like, dude, that was a really close fight. Like, I think Jocko definitely deserved the nod, but just the fact that Anders made it that close and both guys looked garbage, like, not a good fight. I definitely want to fade both guys going forward. Just, yeah, bad part of the night.
I saw on Twitter that my boy Brendan Allen called out Jocko. That would be easy money if that fight happened. I hope that happens. Allen would take him down easily if it's happened, though, or pound him, though. Last fight, Yadong versus Cheeto. Now, personally, I do think I got robbed in this fight, but it was a close fight. I mean, Cheeto looked really good. That was the best Cheeto we've ever seen. Yadong is good, too. I don't think the guy's bad. The guy's legit top 15 dude. I just think Cheeto won that third round. It is what it is. I'm not going to complain about it, but yeah, I thought it was a great fight. I thought Cheeto looked the best we've ever seen, and I did have a bet on Cheeto, and it is what it is.
I haven't rewatched this one yet. The only time I've seen it was when it was live. I scored it for Song Yadong live. I can't remember exactly the rounds. I think I gave him 1 and 2, but his boxing just looks so sharp, man. Cheeto's improved so much, though. Like, that was a great fight. High ceiling for both these guys. I think they're gonna both be in the UFC top 10, top 15 at the very least for a long time. Great fight.
Yeah, man. So let's see. The next fight on the card was Miguel Baeza versus Matt Brown. Yeah, dude, Miguel impressed me. The guy has a chin. I mean, the guy took some big shots, and then he finished Matt Brown. I'm surprised that he didn't even finish him to the body. Like, I don't even think he hurt Matt Brown in the body. But I don't even know if he, did he even kick him in the body? Maybe once, but he knocked him out on the feet, with that boxing. A lot of people were talking about maybe him fighting Sean Brady. I think that'd be a great fight, personally. What about you? What do you think on this fight?
Oh man, I thought both guys looked great. Like, I just loved everything about this fight. It was such a passing of the torch. You got Miguel Baeza, who's like the new age athlete, dude who's just gigantic for the division, kicks hard, just looks the part. The old school legend, just get down and brawl Matt Brown, just passing of the torch fight. Love how it was swings and momentum, like 5 swings of momentum in that first round. Like, it was a bonkers fight, dude. And yeah, the more durable, younger Miguel Baeza came through. I kind of regret not betting him. Like, I thought it was nuts how he got down to like that -130, -140 range. Like, Matt Brown got a lot of love, and I guess I could see why. Like, he actually went in there and hurt Baeza, but great fight, man.
Yeah, so Holland versus Fluffy. Kind of sucks that Holland's not fighting this week, but honestly, that was a really bad move on my part. I told myself I wasn't going to bet that fight, and then last minute I did. I forced a bet on Fluffy. He got embarrassed. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't think Fluffy's going to get cut. Obviously, he's 1 and 2. Maybe he should try to make 170. I don't know if he can, but I don't think he's like terrible. I mean, he could win some fights, but I mean, he's definitely weak to the body. And Holland's legit. I mean, Holland at 170, I think can go places. I do think he was going to beat Rodriguez. I'm sure you agree with me. What do you think about that fight?
Man, I think that's just what you get when you see the full potential of Kevin Holland. He just came in there, probably had one of the best camps of his life. Thing went well, and landed the perfect shots. I was super impressed with him, man. And I mean, since we're not going to be able to talk about Kevin Holland versus D-Rod, I'll just say it right now. I had Kevin Holland in that fight. I thought he was going to dominate Rodriguez bell to bell. I was going to give him a 30-27 decision. But I'm excited for the new fight.
Yeah, man. So Giga Chikadze versus Rivera. I know that you said that Rivera is going to, win a lot of fights at 135. He looked good for sure. I mean, the guy has a good chin. I mean, he's been finished before, but he ate a lot of shots. I like Chikadze too. I think that Chikadze's improved, dude, a lot. Yeah, what a good fight.
Yeah, man, dude. I was able to snipe the opening odds on Giga Chikadze on 5 times. That was just hilarious. That minus 245. He was like minus 450 the next day. But yeah, completely looked the part. He was like twice the guy's size. Technique was on point. Just Giga looked great. I like that guy a lot. Yeah, man. I think I've almost bet on him in all of his UFC fights. I didn't bet on him against Emmers, but I had him against Brandon Davis. I had him here. So he's kind of turned it into a little bit of a money train. And that's funny considering a lot of people were really like down on this guy after Contender Series. And just the way his record looked before that, he was beating a lot of like 0-32 and fucking crazy records like that. Like people were pretty down on Giga, and here he is 3-0 in the UFC. I'm excited to see what he does next. And yeah, I do think if you give Erwin Rivera a full camp at 135 pounds, I do think he'll win some fights.
Yeah, man. So next fight we had Nate the Train versus Elkins. Personally, I think Elkins won the fight, but I mean it was a barn burner. Elkins guy has a good chin. I mean the guy's tough. He's definitely at the end of his career. Nate what the hell kind of game plan was that? Like he could have went out there and got a finish, I feel like early, but I like Nate the Train. Like I don't think he's a jobber by any means, but I mean I was so wrong about him. I thought before the Burns fight he was gonna be a top 15 dude. I don't know about that, but he called out Movsar Evloev. Oh my god, dude. Movsar would fucking destroy him. But yeah, it was a good fight. It was definitely one of the best fights in the card.
Dude, I mean, I thought it could have gone either way. I actually scored it for Elkins live, but it was just like I feel like Nate Landwehr, like 100% was the right side to bet here. Of course, he won. He looked the part. Like I just feel like if he would have fought a little smarter, he could have dominated that fight. But it's just, yeah, it was not good. Hopefully he cleans some things up because when he fights a top 20-ish guy that's not as shot as Darren Elkins, they're really going to make him pay. So we'll see where he goes from here.
Next fight, I mean, we can just pass this fight. Courtney Casey versus Burrell. Burrell's a turd. Courtney Casey got a sub. Courtney Casey's going to get absolutely fucking dominated when she fights Jillian Robertson in a couple weeks. I think that's easy fucking money. Jillian Robertson, first round submission. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. Courtney Casey gets taken down every fucking fight. It's just like, it's bad. And she gets taken down every fight, and like her offensive grappling or her defensive grappling, like off her back, like it's good. I'm interested to see how she does with a girl like Jillian on top of her because that's most likely going to happen.
I'll say one thing about Casey, though. She looked big for 125. She's filled out. I mean, the girl looked like she's like one of the biggest fucking
100%, dude. I had no idea how she was making straw weight. That was crazy.
Yeah, so and she trains at a good camp, in Fight Ready with Cejudo and all that stuff. So the last fight, I know you want to talk about this one. We had the Brazilian, Rodrigo versus Mays. I picked him to win. I didn't bet him. You bet him. Congrats on him. What do you think about his career in the UFC?
Yeah, man. I mean, I get why a lot of people didn't bet him just because there wasn't the most footage in the world. But, like, dude, I saw enough to know he was going to take this guy and sub him. Are you kidding me? Like, all you had to do was watch half of Dontel May's fights and see, like, oh, look, he's getting thrown around by Alan Crowder. Oh, look, he's getting submitted by strikers. It's just, I don't know. It's just not UFC par. And this guy, Rodrigo, trains at a great camp, ATT. He's a good size for the division. Dude can definitely strike too. His cardio held up for the most part. Obviously, his grappling's his bread and butter. I think he can win a lot of fights. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really have an opinion yet on how far he can go in the division. It's tough to say with one fight, especially when that one fight was against a guy like Dontel Mays. But yeah, man, definitely intrigued by his career. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about this card on Saturday. So first fight of the night, we got Chris Gutierrez versus Vince Morales. This is your definition, in my opinion, of a close fight. I mean, you got Gutierrez, who's trained out of Factory X. He has good cardio. He has good weight kicks. I like his weight kicks against De Freitas. I thought, it's probably his. And Morales has good boxing, but he's 1-2 in UFC. He's lost to jobbers. The guy he has low volume. I don't think he's that good. He did have a close fight with Benito. I actually bet Benito, and it could have gone either way for sure. Morales has a better boxing. I think he has more power for sure. But Gutierrez has more volume. I think that Gutierrez has better cardio. I think Gutierrez, the leg kicks are going to be a big factor. You saw Benito take advantage of that against Morales. And the line is like flipping too, man. I mean, this is just a fight I want no part of. Gutierrez is also 2-1 in the UFC. I'm gonna go Gutierrez, winning probably a split decision just based on the more volume. But I wouldn't bet this fight at all. What about you?
Yeah, man. So we have a chat where we talk to a few other people all the time, and like I've backed Vince Morales up pretty much more than anybody in our group. But I just don't like this fight for him at all, man. I just think this is a tough one because, like, yeah, he has a wrestling background. He doesn't really use it. He strikes in all his fights. I just feel like striking in this fight is just that's a disaster for him, man, because I feel like, yeah, he has all right hands, but like he doesn't move all that well. And I just see him getting torn up by leg kicks really bad. I like Chris Gutierrez. I think he's made a lot of improvements. Like you look at the what was it? What's that guy? Gerard Sanders, the really good wrestler. He used to be in the UFC. Now he's in the local scene. Dude's a really big, strong wrestler. He was able to control Gutierrez. I don't think Vince Morales is going to follow that game plan and wrestle. Like, and even if he does try to wrestle, like that's just not what he's used to doing. So I don't know how successful he's going to be with it. Gutierrez has made improvements. He's at a good gym. I just see him tearing him up with those leg kicks, outstriking him. I'm going to say a 29-28 unanimous decision, maybe even 30-27. I thought the odds makers got it right when they opened them. Like, I don't know, would they open them like minus 170 or something like that? That sounds more right to me. And if there wasn't so many other spots on this card I wanted to bet on, I got 4 plays on this card. If I didn't have those plays, I'd probably bet Gutierrez here. I think pick him. That's solid enough for me. I see him outstriking Morales all day here, man.
One thing I want to mention too is this fight is, I think Chris has the advantage. I mean, the guy has slick jiu-jitsu. He tapped out Ray Rodriguez in the regional scene. He's a pretty good black belt. And Vince Morales has been tapped out twice, dude. So, I mean, I definitely think that this fight hits the mat. Gutierrez is going to have the advantage. So, next fight, a fight that I know you were dying to talk about. We got Luis Smolka versus Casey Kenney. Who do you got?
Yeah, man, I got Casey Kenney, and it was funny. We were talking about the opening 5 dimes odds. I was super lucky to get on this one. Like I logged in right at the right time. I picked up Casey Kenney here. I got him at minus 150. Basically, what I see him doing here, man, is kind of what has been going on with Smolka his whole UFC career. Is just his lack of takedown defense. That's at a 30%. That's one of the worst in the UFC. And I mean, the reason why it's so bad. I do think it is bad. I don't think he's some great takedown defense guy that just lets guys take him down. But I do kind of think it is like that just because he has got so much confidence in his scrambling. But that Tim Elliott fight showed that, yeah, he can scramble, but it's just low percentage, man. Like maybe you get on top. Like it worked against Ben Wen, who was beating Smolka, by the way. Smolka got on top, and yeah, that's the thing that kind of worries me here, man. If Luis Smolka gets on top of you, he has like some of the best top control and ground and pound around. Thing is, Casey Kenney, he's a very high level BJJ. He's a black belt, I believe. Dude, the way he beat Manny Bermudez, who's like at least a weight class or 2 above him. The Borg fight, like I've just been impressed with this guy. Even the Merab fight, man. And dude, Merab is a guy who's going to beat most of the fighters in the division. Like I've just been impressed with Casey Kenney every step of the way. I actually think this is probably the easiest matchup for him in the UFC thus far. And he's just going to be able to go out and kind of just do what he did to a guy who's fighting later on this card, Brandon Royval. Casey Kenney was able to use his wrestling there, and he was able to neutralize a lot of great scrambling. Dude, and I'll be honest, I think if anything, Brandon Royval has the better scrambles and is a better grappler than Luis Smolka. It's just like if Casey Kenney's not able to get Smolka down, yeah, it might be a little sketchy. But even then, man, I think Casey Kenney's come a long way with the striking. I think that'll be competitive too. So, like, worst case scenario for me here, I just feel like maybe I lose a close decision, but like at least 80% of the time, Casey Kenney's winning at least 2 rounds with top control. So, yeah, man, just wrestle, grapple, neutralize the scrambles, do what you got to do, man. But I'll say this, Louis Smolka has come a long way. I think he's a lot better now than he was in his first run. Even his run outside the UFC where he had some sketchy moments, I think he's better than that now. So, yeah, man, what do you think of this fight?
Yeah, man. I bet Casey Kenney last fight versus Merab. He actually won the first round, in my opinion, and then he just gassed. I mean, Merab beat him in the last 2 rounds. But then again, I feel like when Merab first came in UFC, I didn't think he was gonna be that good. But I mean, now I'm done fading this guy. The guy's gonna be a top 10 dude. I mean, he's a nightmare matchup for a lot of guys ranked in the top 10. So I think that Merab's gonna be a beast. He is a beast already. On the matchup, I think Kenney for sure, has the better wrestling. I think that Casey Kenney's striking is good too. He has a good straight left. He has good kicks. He has good cardio. He probably has better cardio here too. Smolka has good cardio. One thing about Smolka is that he's really inconsistent. I mean, he's came a long way. He was on a 4-fight losing streak. He used to drink all the time and all this stuff. He's won 5 out of the last 6 fights. Okay. That one fight on the regional scene against that bum, Kyle Watson, he almost lost. He gets hurt in a lot of his fights, but honestly, the matchup versus McDonald, I know McDonald's a complete fucking bum. He probably got cut, but that was the best Smolka I've ever seen, in my opinion. I mean, his striking looked really good in that fight. He's big for the weight class. I think he's definitely the bigger guy than Kenney, but then we already talked about Kenney already beat a guy that's like 2 weight classes above him. The matchup-wise, I think Smolka, he gets taken down a lot because he likes, to scramble. So I think there's going to be a lot of good scrambles in this fight, 100%. But Casey can 100% control him, though. Casey has the better grappling, in my opinion, the better top control. It's like you mentioned, if Smolka gets on top. Because I can see him getting on top for sure, because I think Kenney's has his back taken all of his fights so far. But, I mean, he got right out of it. The Borg fight, I do think he won. I think that the line is a little off, in my opinion, now, but I do think that Kenny's going to get the job done. It's really hard to trust Smolka. I mean, he has a good jab. He has a good right hand. But at the end of the day, he gets taken down too much for my liking. And Casey Kenney has legit wrestling. So I'm going to go with Casey Kenney. And I know he hasn't finished anyone in the UFC, but I think he gets him out of there. I think he's going to get Smolka out of there with the TKO. And I'm going to go with the 3rd round TKO. So next fight, we got Tim Elliott versus Brandon Royval. This is a good fight. I like Tim Elliott. I met him. He's a good guy. He's a good fighter, but he's at the end of his career, in my opinion. The guy's taken way too much damage. He's lost 4 out of his last 6 fights. Everyone always wants to bring him up. The DJ fight. I mean, yeah, he had a couple moments in that fight. It's not like he went there and won more than 1 round. I mean, he's scrappy. He fought so reckless versus Askarov, but he does that in every fight. In this matchup, he has the better wrestling for sure. You can't deny that. But I like Royval. I like his jiu-jitsu. He's a BJJ black belt. He has 6 wins by submission. I mean, those arm bars he hit against Nate Williams. I mean, the dude is legit on the mat. He just gets taken down because he likes to fight off his back. And, I mean, Elliot has good top control. So that's one reason why I'm not betting Royval. But I'm picking Royval to get the win just because I think he's the better striker. I like his striking. I don't know where Elliott's head's at. I think this is a really interesting fight because – they used to train together, and now Elliott's in Vegas. I don't think Kraus is going to be cornering Royval. So, and also he's won 5 out of the last 6 fights. Royval. His only loss was the LFA main event. It's Casey Kennedy, and let's be honest, Casey Kennedy dominated bad. I mean, that was 50-45, but he showed a lot of heart. I mean, I heard he took the fight off like 1 week or something like that. He's on the couch, so. This kid's improving, dude. He trained at a good camp. I don't want to hear that everyone's saying the Factory X is a terrible camp because what happened to Anthony Smith. They're still one of the best camps out there, in my opinion. But matchup-wise, I mean, he's the better striker than Elliott. He has a better jiu-jitsu. It's just Elliott has, the better grappling. I think they both have good cardio. But the one thing I don't like about Elliott is he's taking so much damage, dude. I mean, I feel like he's going to get KO one of these days. I mean, Askarov even fucking, had him out on his feet.
Low-key, Tim Elliott got knocked out last fight.
And I know Royval is not known for his KO power, but the guy can crack, dude. I mean, the guy has good striking, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with Royval by a finish. I think he's going to hurt Elliott. I mean, Elliott gets dropped a lot, too. Look at Ben Wynn. Ben Wynn dropped him immediately and tapped him out. is Ben wouldn't even know him to tap guys out? Not really, dude. So I'm gonna go with Royval with the finish. If he wins, I might regret passing on him, but I'm more confident in someone else later on the card. So Dogway. So what about you? What do you think about this fight?
Man, I'm so intrigued by this fight just for a bunch of reasons. I think stylistically, just the way I think it's going to play out, I think it's going to be super exciting. For DraftKings, I feel like you really, really got to have at least one side in this fight just because we all know how Tim Elliott is on DraftKings. I think he still holds the record for a 3-round fight. We just talked about the one against Lewis Smolka. He scored like 180 points. And that's because there was a lot of scrambling, man. And like I said, this dude Royval, he can scramble too. I'm not gonna say he gave Casey Kenney fits, but like he pretty much forced Casey Kenney to fight his ass off for 25 minutes straight. Like this kid Royval, he's no slouch at all. He's a really good grappler. He's tricky on the feet. He's got like a weird kind of Thai style on the feet. Like he's definitely tall, long for the division. I like the guy. I think he definitely has a future. Thing is here, like Tim Elliott's been there, done that. He's fought so many high-level guys. He has all that experience. Dude's just been in the fight game forever, and that wrestling background and just the wrestling in general, I feel like he's going to be able to 100% take advantage of the takedown defense of Royval. And I feel like the majority of this fight, for as long as it lasts, is going to be Tim Elliott taking him down, trying to neutralize the scramble, holding top control, neutralize scramble, round ends. And then maybe, just maybe, there's a point in this fight where Royval catches Elliott slipping, and that's happened so many times in the past. Elliott is, I mean, let's be honest, he's a notorious bed shitter. The guy has given up so many fights that he should have won, like the Ben Win one. You brought that up, and against a guy that's dangerous like Royval, like you said, like he can hurt him on the feet here. I think more than likely, if anything, if Royval wins this fight, I think it might be a sub off his back. It's just like, do I want it? Like, even though the odds are good, like plus 150, might even be plus 140 now. He's getting steamed. But, like, do you want to take the shot on the guy that you know is going to be putting on his back? Do you want to take the shot on the guy that is making his debut against a former title challenger? It's just sketchy all around. I feel like for betting in DK, it's like polar opposites. I feel like this is a complete pass betting-wise, whereas DK, you got to have one side because somebody's scoring high. It's just awesome fight altogether. I'm going to make my official pick, though. I'm going to agree with Justin, man. I'm going to say Royval pulls off the upset and gets a sub off his back here. I'll say triangle choke.
Yeah, man. So, want to call the next one?
I'm going to let you start with this one, man. He's your boy. I'm betting him too, but he's definitely your boy. We got Jamal Hill taking on Klidson Abreu. How you see it going?
Yeah, man. So this is my first play of the night. I have 4 units on Jamal Hill at minus 130. The last time I bet a favorite was Jamal Hill versus Darko. Everyone that knows my channel knows how high I'm in this guy. I think he's going to be a top 10 guy, probably even top 5, to be honest. He's green though. He's 7-0. He gets better every fight. In this fight, I think that he's levels above Klidson on the feet. I mean, this guy is straight right, the guy's straight left, the guy's kicks to the body, the guy's knees, the way he uses distance. His striking is really, really good. The main red flag with him is that his ground game. The guy has been taken down before. Daquan Townsend dropped him and all this stuff. That was his 4th professional fight. The guy's still a kid. This is his 8th professional fight. Darko took him down 4 times. He got right back up every time. The thing with Klidson is that everyone's acting like this guy's going to go out there and be a Khabib in this fight. When have we seen Klidson go for like more than one takedown? The guy just likes to strike. He likes to brawl. And it's going to hurt him here, man, because Hill is the way better striker. He's so much more faster, way more athletic, way better movement. Hill has a really good chin. Another thing, too, is that when he fights the top guys in the division, I want him to work on his defense because he definitely leaves his head out, to get hit. But he relies on his chin. He has a good chin. I don't think Klidson can hurt him on the feet. I think Klidson, he's a brawler. He likes to get in your face. It's going to be really hard for Abreu to get inside and catch Hill. Hill has great distance movement, good management, everything. But yeah, man, I just think that Hill's the way better striker. I mean, Abreu's slow. He gasses. He's been knocked out twice. He's been hurt in multiple fights. Let's talk about his career. I mean, his first fight, he fought Ankalaev. Ankalaev's definitely a better fighter than Hill. Ankalaev dominated him. Sam Alvey, an ugly decision. He did win the fight, but Alvey just has no volume. And in the last fight, I do think that the Russian won that fight. It's just he'll throw so much volume. That's what I see in this fight. And Abreu doesn't. He's very low output. That's why I think Hill is going to hurt him really bad. I mean, everything he throws, dude, is with, bad intention that he can keep up the pace for 3 rounds. This guy has legit cardio. He has a big cardio advantage here. People act like Abreu's going to go out there and take him down once. It's over. I don't think so, dude. This guy has a great get-up game. You see him get up every time he's been taken down. So, but yeah, this is definitely the best fighter Hill's ever fought, in my opinion, for sure. But, I mean, Abreu's never fought a striker like this. You can say Ankalaev's a great striker. He is, but Hill's a different striker than him, dude. Hill's probably the fastest dude Abreu's ever fought in his life. So I'm going to go with Jamal Hill. I think he's going to hurt him in the body. I think he's going to get him out of there. So I'm going to go with Jamal Hill with the first-round TKO. What about you?
Man, first-round TKO. Well, I got Jamal Hill as well, man. I got him in a parlay with somebody later in the card. You hit on a lot of good points, man. Like Klidson Abreu, I think he definitely is UFC caliber. I think he'll win some fights in the UFC. He does have good BJJ. I think eventually he will be able to take down and control and even sub some guys in the UFC. It's just in this spot, man, I agree with you. I'm super high in Jamal Hill. I think the sky's the limit. Definitely needs to keep taking fights against guys that are on Klidson Abreu's level. I think he needs to be at least 10 or 11-0 before he takes that top 15 fight. But yeah, just keep fighting guys like Klidson, man, because I just feel like early in that fight when he has all his energy and he's able to implement that footwork and movement, I just feel like it's going to be so tough for Klidson to be able to get on the inside and take him down. I feel like Jamal is just going to be hitting him with everything but the kitchen sink. And by the time that second round hits, even if Klidson makes it to that second round without getting knocked out, I agree with you in the fact that Hill has better cardio. And I feel like Klidson's going to be compromised by then. And it's just going to be really, really tough for him to implement a wrestling game plan and just hold him down for 3 rounds or submit him. If he's going to submit Hill, I just feel like it better be in the first round because I don't know if he's going to have the energy to do it late. And like I said, I just don't know if he's going to be able to get him down early. I feel like that first round is going to be hell on wheels for Klidson Abreu just because that movement, Jamal is definitely that next generation kind of fighter, man. I like a lot what he brings to the table. Great athlete, good striker. And who knows, man? I mean, these young guys with not a lot of fights, they make rapid improvements out of nowhere. So, if Klidson takes him down and Jamal's able to sweep him and get back to his feet, just don't even be surprised because these guys that are amazing athletes make giant improvements like that all the time. So I'm with you, man. I'm going to go with Jamal Hill. I'm going to say Klidson gives him a tough go, though. I'll say he has to grind this one out to a decision. I think he'll hurt him at some point early, and then I won't say he necessarily coasts, but it would probably be wise to him to still, stick to the game plan, try not to get taken down late, try not to let Klidson steal rounds. So I'll go with Jamal Hill to fight a smart fight here to a 30-27 decision.
I think Klidson's UFC material for sure. I just think matchup-wise, I just think it's a great matchup for Hill. I think they got to continue to build him up. But then again, I know Ryan's fans, probably right outside that top 15, not in my opinion, but probably based on the rankings and stuff. I mean, if they match that fight up, Hill would destroy him in 30 seconds, in my opinion. But anyways, next fight, we got Caitlin Chookagian versus Antonia Shevchenko. You got Antonina. I like calling her Antonio because she looks like a dude. But anyways, Antonina Shevchenko. Kelton, who do you got?
Dude, I actually got some strong opinions in this fight. Like I said, I already got 4 bets on the table. I'm not trying to add anything else, especially at juice here in a women's fight. But man, I'm pretty sold on Antonina Shevchenko in this spot. I think this is just kind of a nightmare for Chookagian. I'm not sure what she's supposed to do here. She supposedly has this amazing sub game. She trains with Henzo, right? She goes out there to New York. She commutes from Jersey to New York, all that area, Long Island actually. But I just feel like on the feet she's totally outmatched here. Antonina is a lot sharper. She's long. I don't know if the sounds Chookagian makes is going to be enough to steal a decision here. I feel like she has to grapple. She has to do something we haven't seen her do in the UFC. And I get it. I get seeing that plus 120 or plus 130 on Chookagian and being this girl just fought for the title. This girl is beating a lot of people. She's ranked 1 or 2. Kayla Chookagian's a great fighter. It's just like styles make fights, matchups make fights, and what the hell is she going to be able to do to Antonina here, man? I feel like she's got to do something she's never done in the UFC before. So props to her if she does it. I'm not gonna say she does it just because like it's unlikely. So I get where the line it is what it is. So I'll go with Antonina 30-27 decision. Hopefully the fight's exciting. I got a feeling it won't be.
Yeah, dude, this is a tough fight for me to call. You know, I've been going back and forth in this fight. I do think Shevchenko is the better striker. But one thing in this fight is that I think Chookagian has a lot of volume, and the judges like that. I mean, she's kind of like the female Elias. She throws so much volume at the air, and I mean, you know, the fight with JoJo, I actually thought she won that fight, and a lot of people thought JoJo won, but I do think that Chookagian won. JoJo had, you know, some good weight kicks. I think Shevchenko could definitely take advantage of that, but yeah, man, Chookagian has a good jab. She has a good right hand. She definitely won those last 2 rounds, in my opinion. She has more experience. And this fight hits the mat. I don't even know if it's going to hit the mat personally, but if it does hit the mat, you got to give the advantage to Chookagian, in my opinion. Someone, I don't know who it was, someone brought up a point about, I forget who it was. Whoever it was, I'm sorry if I steal your line, but someone said that Holly Holm, you know, wasn't a wrestler when she fought Megan Anderson and all that stuff, and she went out there and took her down at will. I mean, Chookagian could definitely go out there and shoot and take her down. I wouldn't be surprised if she went out there and took down Shevchenko. But Shevchenko has really good knees in the clinch. You know, she's nasty in the clinch. She's technical. I just think that Chookagian, you know, she's a top 5 girl in the division, and I think that she has more experience. She's a great point fighter. She knows how to win rounds. I'm going to go Chookagian with a controversial split. So next fight, oh my God, am I excited to talk about this fight. We got the Alpha Ginger Spike Carlyle versus Billy Q. Yeah, man, this is a great fight. I have 3 units. This is my second play of the night on the Alpha Ginger at plus 135. I think this is a good fight, like I mentioned 100 times. You know, in my opinion, sideways-go matchup, you got to give power advantage to Spike. I mean, the guy hits like a fucking truck. You watch his tape on the regional scene. He's in a lot of sloppy fights. You watch his fight against Cruz. He looked like he's in the best shape he's ever been in his life. He's big for the division. This is a catchweight fight. It's only going to help him, in my opinion. It's a small cage. It's only going to help him, in my opinion. He has more power, better wrestling. The guy's a national judo champion. The guy has good wrestling. He takes down everybody. He has that Donkey Kong kind of ground pound because, you know, his head coach is Mark Munoz. He also trains with King's MMA. He's a brown belt BJJ. The guy's a finisher. I will say that Billy Q definitely has the better cardio. A lot of his fights, he gets hurt a lot and he comes back. I think it, you know, that's how he wins his fight. Is he's gonna have to break Spike and win a decision or finish him late. And I just don't see that happening. I think that all the damage he takes every fight. I mean, Kirk went out there, who's not that good in my opinion, and took him down immediately and kind of won that whole first round contender series and just dominated him on the mat. Spike can 100% do that. Spike has the better wrestling, in my opinion, or Spike can go out there and knock him out. I mean, Spike, that head kick that he hit against Cruz was nasty, dude. I mean, it's super technical. I like everything about Spike's game. I know that he's still green, in my opinion. He's still young. He's only 9-1. He did lose to a can 2 years ago, a split decision. But look what he's done since then, dude. I mean, the guy has power in his hands. He has power in his kicks, elbows. I mean, the elbow he hurt Cruz with. Cruz is no slouch. Cruz is not a jobber. Cruz is a training partner of Billy Q. So obviously Billy Q's going to go out there and probably fight really emotional and try to brawl with him. And you don't want to try to brawl with a guy like Spike. If you try to brawl with him, it's game over. If Billy wants to win this fight, he's going to have to drag him to deep waters. And in my opinion, I don't see it happening. I do think that Billy has great jiu-jitsu. He's a BJJ black belt. But, I mean, come on. He beat Jacob Kilburn, dude. Jacob Kilburn's a fucking scrub, dude. So, but yeah, Billy is technical in the feet too. I mean, he has good boxing, but look at what Spike did with that kick. Spike's technical as well, dude. And in my opinion, like I mentioned, the power. I don't like how Billy gets hurt in every single fight and he comes back. I don't like how he gets taken down in every fight. I see 2 ways Spike can win this fight in 2 big ways. 1, he can wrestle fuck and knock and get a TKO with that ground pound. Or 2, he can go out there and hurt him immediately like Billy gets hurt in every fight and get him out of there. So I'm going to go with the Alpha Ginger. I think he's going to hurt him. He's going to drop him. He's going to get him out of there with that Donkey Kong ground pound. And I'll go with Spike with a first round TKO. What about you?
All right. Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you, man. I'm going to go with my boy Billy Quarantillo to win this fight here. Now, I will say, I think personally, like, I'm definitely going to be rooting for you and whatnot, but I think this is one of the biggest fights or biggest passes on the card for me personally. If anything, it's dog or pass. I'm definitely going to be rooting for you, bro. But it's just like, I feel like technically speaking, I feel like Spike is definitely outmatched here. I feel like Billy's boxing is a lot sharper. He's longer. I feel like he's going to be able to, keep the range where he wants it. I feel like he's going to jab up Spike Carlyle. But the thing is with Billy, man, like, I don't want to sit here and pay juice on a guy that consistently gives up first rounds, a guy that's definitely chinny. But like I said, man, speaking on the skills, I just feel like it's kind of a bad matchup for Spike, other than like the fact that I can see him coming in here. Spike definitely has big power, man. He can come out here and knock out Billy, but if that doesn't happen and this fight hits the second round, just like I see Billy having the big cardio advantage. I think he's going to be the one really pushing the pace after that first round. I see him coming in here and really starting to unload combos on Spike in the second round. I feel like if Spike maybe gets desperate with the wrestling, Billy might even be able to like sweep him, end up on top. Billy has really, really good grappling. He's a BJJ black belt. I believe he earned it in his last fight. The grappling is going to get tough. It's just like, I'm not going to be surprised one bit if Spike comes out here and gets another first round KO. Like he surprised a lot of people last time against Cruz. He was a big underdog, around the same size he is in this spot. It's just, I feel like Billy is a little more. So I bet that doesn't go the distance in the Elon Cruz Spike Carlyle fight, just because like I saw tendencies from Elon. Like he's so susceptible to being finished early. Like I just thought he would be able to knock out Spike, or Spike would knock him out with something. He just leaves himself open. I feel like Billy's just a little bit tighter, just more defensively sound than him. But it's a good fight, man. Like I'm looking forward to it. I'll be rooting for you.
I mean, I don't think he's going to win a decision, but I mean, Spike's won a decision 4 fights ago against that 12-3 guy. And I mean, he dominated that fight with the wrestling. I mean, people act like this guy's just a KO artist in the feet. The guy is a judo champion, dude. I mean, the guy has a brown belt BJJ. The guy has good wrestling.
I'll say this. What was it? Like 5-6 fights ago, the guy was, let's just say, physically speaking, he didn't look quite the same he does now. And he was going out there losing decisions to 8-11 guys. So I think Spike Carlyle is a prime example of why you got to have a good doctor in MMA.
He's in great shape, dude. I mean, really good shape. I like the training camp that he trains at. He trains King's MMA as well. I like that. So I got him with the win. So first fight of the main card, we got Daniel D-Rod Rodriguez versus – is it D-Rod or D-Rod?
D-Rod.
D-Rod versus the newcomer Gabriel Green. Yeah, man, this is a good fight. Personally, I had Holland beating Rodriguez, but I don't think Rodriguez is bad. I think he's, a good fighter. I see him winning fights. I mean, he beats Tim Means. But then again, Nico Price changed his career. We all can agree with that. People don't want to agree that Nico Price changed the career of Tim Means. Anyways, back in this matchup, I like Rodriguez's boxing. He has a good straight left. He has good pressure. Has great leg kicks. He's big for the division. He's weak to the body, though. That's why I thought Holland was going to get him out of there. He's been hurt to the body on Contender Series against Barrington. He got hurt against Victor Reina, the guy that lost to Miguel Baeza on Contender Series. He's tough. He's a black belt as well, BJJ out, I think, Eddie Bravo. This guy trains, with Joe Schilling and Cowboy Cerrone, all those guys. He's a brawler, this guy. He's tough, dude. He has a good chin. He likes to get you out of there. He's a finisher. I didn't like his fight, though, in Contender Series. I mean, that was a close fight. I mean, that was like a 29-20 against a bum, in my opinion. But then again, he looked great against Tim Means. Gilbert Green, dude, or Gabriel Green, he's a lightweight. He's making his debut here on short notice. He's been knocked out twice. He knocked out Jalen Turner, I believe, or did Jalen Turner knock him out?
Jalen Turner knocked him out.
That was his last loss, and since then he's been on a 6-fight winning streak. His last fight against Richard Leroy, I watched it today. Is a good win. He got hurt in that fight, and then he went out there and and hurt him. He dropped him. He got him out of there with a TKO. He has good boxing. He's a brawler, but then again, this guy has a lot of wins by submission too. So the guy has a great ground game. I actually think this guy will win fights 55. He's not a jobber in my opinion. He's definitely improved a lot. But yeah, I just think that Rodriguez is bigger. I think Rodriguez is the better striker. He hits harder, and Green getting knocked out twice, taking a lot of damage. He's kill or be killed kind of guy. I'm gonna go with Rodriguez. I'm gonna say he gets him out of there in the second round.
Man, this is a really intriguing fight. Gabriel Green, I've actually known about him for a long time. I actually have a video on my YouTube channel from like over 3 years ago. I was breaking down like Bellator 170 or something like that, and it was Gabriel Green versus Jalen Turner. And I remember that Gabriel Green was like 3-1 at the time with like 7-0 AMI record. And I was talking him up. I was saying he was going to be in the UFC one day. I thought he was going to go out and smoke Jalen Turner because at that point, Jalen Turner was like 2-2 with like 2 really bad knockout losses. I thought Green would just come in and get him, but it was the opposite, man. Jalen got him, but Green has not lost since. He's definitely made improvements. He's 27 years old with a lot of good experience. I think he's definitely earned his way into the UFC. And this is a good way to do it, man, because he doesn't have much to lose here. I mean, he's a lightweight coming up to welterweight. I mean, if he loses this fight, what's going to happen? He just drops down and basically gets his lightweight debut. I mean, and I like that, man. I like guys that have nothing to lose. It's just that I feel like his path to victory here is probably a knockout. Like you said, he's a brawler. But the thing is, he just leaves himself so open. So I think this fight is going to end up being really crazy. I think these guys are going to brawl it out. I see Rodriguez being the bigger guy, the more durable guy, the more technical guy. I mean, for Christ's sakes, he's got Joe Schilling and Eddie Bravo in his corner. That's one of the greatest corners of all time. But still, seriously, though, man, like I like this kid, Daniel Rodriguez. I think he should be able to dominate this fight, and I'll agree with you. I'll go with a second round TKO, and this is going to be a crazy one for DraftKings guys because most likely they're going to end up leaving Daniel Rodriguez at 7,300, which if you don't know, that's a big underdog price. But the thing is, we had that card with Giga Chikadze. I think that was the last card. Giga was supposed to fight Mike Davis, and Giga was like a 7,000 on DraftKings. They got an opponent switch. He was like a -400 favorite, but a huge underdog on DraftKings. And he was like 70% owned. Wasn't even on the optimal lineup. He got like 70 points. So I feel like Daniel Rodriguez will probably be heavily owned, but I don't think it's going to be a letdown spot. I think this time that kind of spot is going to come through. He's going to get a finish here. Just I don't see this fight going 3 rounds, man. Just they're going to brawl it out. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I like Rodriguez. I just think going forward, he's I don't know, he's weak to the body, dude. So someone with good kicks is going to take advantage of that. I don't think that Green, will take advantage of that. But yeah, I got D-Rod. So next fight, I know it's a huge bet for you. We got Mackenzie Dern versus Hannah Ciffers. Who do you got?
Oh man, who do I got? I'm all over Mackenzie Dern here. I'll be honest. This is from the heart, man. Like, this is the most confident I've been in a fight in like years, just for so many different reasons. Like, I just don't see how Hannah Ciffers wins this fight, man. Firstly, I feel like it's an atom weight because Hannah Ciffers is a small 115er. And if there was a 105-pound division, you best believe she'd be in it. It's a 105er versus Mackenzie Dern, who's most likely going to miss weight. She's not a 115-pounder. Holy shit. I can't believe she's still trying to make that cut. So it's basically a flyweight versus an atom weight here. So you got size, number 1, number 2, technique. I mean, obviously on the mat, that's Mackenzie's bread and butter. She's top 3 women BJJ players in the sport. If she gets on top of just about anybody, it's game over. Rebus in that fight. I was there in Tampa. She showed out, man. She had that takedown defense. She had that movement, but she had that size and that power to kind of keep Mackenzie at bay. I'll be like, Hannah has power, I guess. Like, she can rip to the body. She's definitely a little beast. I just feel like I don't know how much those shots are gonna like affect Mackenzie, like a true 125-pounder. I feel like if anything, Mackenzie on the feet, she has light years to go. Like, the technique is not there. Rebus exposed that 100%. But Mackenzie actually has something that a lot of girls don't, and that's natural power. And I feel like if these girls come in here and strike, it's actually going to be Mackenzie to be the one to hurt Hannah Ciffers. I think she'll drop Hannah Ciffers. And that's what I do see happening. I think she's going to drop Hannah Ciffers, get on top, and it's going to be a sub shortly after. Hannah, what she needs to do here is she just needs to pressure and brawl and hope she hurts Mackenzie with something. I just don't see that happening. Like, you don't see a lot of the time someone who's like half the size of their opponent being able to really, really hurt them with their punches. Size and physicality is a thing, guys. You look at that Jairzinho Rosenstrike versus Ngannou, and it's crazy that I'm comparing a strawweight women's fight to a men's heavyweight fight. But like, if you look at that fight, man, like you can argue Jairzinho Rosenstrike is the more technical boxer than Ngannou is, just like Hannah Ciffers is the more technical boxer than Mackenzie Dern is. But it didn't fucking matter because Ngannou was like twice the size and the way more physical guy. And I feel like that's what's going to happen if they strike here. I think Mackenzie Dern will hurt Ciffers. If not, she'll take her down and sub her. So all day long, Mackenzie Dern. I don't really see how you can make an argument for Hannah in this spot.
Yeah, so I got Hannah Ciffers by KO. Next fight, we got Royval Roberts. Just kidding. Yeah, so I got Mackenzie in this fight. Is she married?
Yeah.
Okay, well, her husband is a fucking lucky bastard because she's definitely one of the hottest girls in the UFC and in the world. But anyways, in the matchup, she's way bigger than Ciffers. I do agree that on the feet it's going to be close. I think the Ciffers is more technical, especially in the boxing. But Dern has more power. You know, Dern has power in her hands, but she's dropped girls like Amanda Bobby Cooper. She hurt Yoder. She's way bigger. And one thing about this fight is that the fact that no offense to her because she's a good fighter, but the fact that Angela Hill took her down. I mean, what do you think Mackenzie Dern's going to do? I mean, Dern has legit grappling, legit ground game. On top, she's going to be way bigger. We've seen Ciffers get TKO'd twice against Barber and Angela Hill. So I got Mackenzie Dern by domination. I mean, great play for DraftKings. Next fight, we got Roosevelt Roberts versus Brock Weaver. Do you have a play in this fight?
I do have a play in this fight. This is my biggest bet of the night, man.
Head.
Yeah, man, I got Roosevelt Roberts in this fight. I feel like this is a complete mismatch. Like Brock Weaver, dude, like this is a prime example of entertainment finding its way to the UFC when it's not really, in my opinion, like, yeah, the guy's got a nice long regional record, but like it's nothing to warrant a UFC shot. It's enough to warrant a contender series shot, and that's what he got. And he fought in the contender series and he won, but like, how many guys did you see on that contender series season win a decision and then get a contract? Not many of them. He got that contract simply because of his personality, in my opinion. He hasn't really beaten anybody notable. I mean, you look at a guy like Tyler Hill, I recognize him. It's just, it's rough, man. And then you look at his UFC debut. He took on Rodrigo Vargas, who's a striker, and Rodrigo Vargas came out, take him down, was holding him down, was doing his thing, was winning the round, and then he hit Brock Weaver with an illegal knee. And like I don't see really anybody bringing up that fight because it was an illegal knee. But let's be honest for a second. Brock Weaver got knocked the fuck out 3 months ago, and he's coming back here. I don't think that he took enough time off. Yeah, he's a young guy; they recover faster. But dude, like that was vicious, man. Like I know it was an illegal knee, but that shit was nasty. Weaver was out. Definitely bad. Just the whole state of that fight. Weaver was like a minus 300 against that guy, and that guy probably has no business in the UFC. I feel like what Weaver brings to the table the most is probably his boxing. He has pro boxing experience. Like he's defensively sound and all that, but it's definitely nothing spectacular. And his cardio is definitely pretty good. I've seen him fresh in third rounds before, so definitely won't see him gassing here unless Roberts is just completely throwing around and he's just completely drained. But it's just all going to come down to technique here, man. And I feel like Roosevelt, he's a lot longer. His boxing has definitely improved. I feel like he's going to be able to keep the distance that he wants. He's going to jab up Brock, and then he's going to expose what's been exposed many times, and that's his takedown defense. Roberts is going to come in here, take him down. Might sub him. I'll give Brock the benefit of the doubt and say this fight goes 3 rounds, but I think Roosevelt probably has him beat in every aspect of the fight here, striking and grappling wise. And I got 4 units on him at minus 185. So let's go. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, before I watched the tape, you know, looking at the odds, I definitely thought that maybe they're a little off because, I mean, Weaver's a pretty damn big dog. But about the matchup, I mean, yeah, man, I think it's a bad matchup for Weaver. I think Roberts has the better wrestling. I think he has really good grappling. He's a great guillotine, probably one of the best guillotines in the sport. And one thing, too, is that Weaver got taken down by a striker. I mean, you were talking about that against Vargas. I mean, the fact that he took him down, what do you think that this guy's going to do? Roberts has good striking, too. I know that he lost to Vince Pichel. That was first L time. I know that he said he quit in that fight in the third round. Honestly, he lost that fight because Michelle beat him in the grappling. I mean, he gassed him out, I thought he looked good against Jacare. He was in a couple bad spots, but I mean, he definitely won that fight. I mean, that was a clear decision. He definitely won that first and third round. Weaver, he's technical, but I don't even know why he got signed by the UFC. I mean, that win against Devin Smith was not even that good of a win. I mean, that was an ugly win. One thing that pissed me off about Weaver in that fight is why did you Weaver kept on initiating the grappling? He kept on going against the cage, and why? You were hurt on the that was pissing me off, dude. I mean, the guy's tough, warrior. He's won 8 of his last 10 fights. The guy lost to Joe Riggs in bare knuckle boxing. I mean, he's technical for sure. He has power, but I think Roberts can piece him up on the feet. He's fast, great jab, great right hand. Roberts is a great gas tank, and he's just going to mix it up and take him down. So I got Roberts. I'll go the submission win. Next fight, another fight. I'm going to let you go first because you have a bet in this fight. We got Augusto Sakai versus Blagoy Ivanov. Who do you got?
And we're already on the co-main event, man. Well, yeah, I definitely got Augusto Sakai here, man. I was able to get in early on that plus money. I got plus 105 for 3 units. Oh, I like this fight for him a lot, man. I feel like on the feet, he's got that size, that reach. He's got really good striking for a heavyweight, man. I like the way he moves for a heavyweight. You look at him, he's kind of unassuming. He looks like a lot of these heavier set heavyweights, kind of got the gut going. You're going to assume he's a little slower. This guy definitely is not slow. He moves around well in there. I like his striking. His ground game's come a long way. He's got some good wins under his belt now, man. He smashed Chase Sherman, who actually just came back to the UFC and looked decent. Beat Arlovsky, whether you think he won that fight or not. I mean, it was close. I mean, I feel like a lot of Arlovsky's fights go that way. Like you look at the fight just happened, Felipe Lins. Like Felipe Lins is a great fighter, and he just went to split with Arlovsky. Arlovsky's he's such a tough vet. Like I know he's like 3-11 in his last fight, like 14 fights or something like that. But he's a tough go for anybody if you don't put him away, expose that chin. So I'm impressed with Sakai's wins. And then the last one, yeah, he torched Marcin Tibera. That was a bad one. Just ran through the guy. I think that was like an early KO. And Blagoy, I don't know if it's going to be such an early KO here because Blagoy does have a good chin. I've seen him eat some major shots. I'm not going to go ahead and say he has some kind of epic chin, but the guy can definitely eat shots. It's just he's going to get outpointed bad here. Like Sakai is going to land 3 for every 1 Blagoy lands. It's just such a speed difference for me in this fight. And Blagoy has that wrestling in his back pocket, but it's like it's not good, man. I'm pretty sure he averages less than 1 takedown per fight, and it's going to take a lot more than 1 takedown to win this fight. And not only that, Sakai's he's much bigger, stronger. I feel like he can stuff, if not get back up to his feet. So I like him wherever the fight goes, man. I don't see why it's still so close odds-wise. Who do you got here?
Yeah, it's a good fight. I do agree with you. I have Sakai getting the job done. I think that he has the better boxing. I mean, he has really good hands for heavyweight. I do think that he can be a top 10, top 5 guy maybe. I mean, the guy is good. I mean, I did have a close fight for Arlovsky, like you mentioned, a lot of people do. I thought that the KO against Tibera was nasty, dude. I mean, the pressure, the right hand. I mean, he fucked him up bad. I like Ivanov, though. He's tough, dude. I mean, the story he has a great chin. He has the better grappling. I definitely think that he needs to go out there and take him down, in my opinion, on the feet. I mean, he's just kind of basic. He hits hard. I mean, I thought he beat Derek Lewis, to be honest, but I mean, that was a close fight.
No.
I thought he did it.
No
I don't know.
way.
I thought so. When the fight was live, I thought that Lewis won. But then whenever he watched it the other day, I thought it was close. I thought that I've not won that fight. But yeah, Sakai would beat Lewis too, in my opinion. Even though Lewis won. But yeah, I got Sakai here. I think that he's the better striker. I mean, Ivanov has the better grappling, so I mean, let's see if he can go out there and take him down. I mean, he has some good, grappling chops. So I'm gonna go with my boy Augusto Sakai. Main event, we got Gilbert Dorino Burns versus Tyron Woodley, and this is my last play of the night. I have 3 units on Burns at plus 155. I think this is a great fight. I think Woodley is, one of the best welterweights of all time. The guy, great straight left. I mean, power. I just think personally, he's as one fight out the door. He could be at the end of his career. I do think he's declining. He looked terrible against Usman. But then again, Usman's the champ. I hate how Woodley always backs up against the cage. But the thing in this fight is that he hits hard. He hits like a truck. He's definitely a KO artist. He could catch Burns for sure. But I like Burns' output. I think Burns has way more volume than him. I think Burns can definitely outstrike him. I think Burns can break him weight. I know Burns has never been, in the later rounds, but I still think that Burns has the better cardio, dude. Woodley gasses out in every fucking fight, dude. I mean, it's not. I don't like his gas. I don't. Wrestling wise, I think he has the better wrestling than Burns, but I think that Burns has a better ground game. I actually think Burns can take down Woodley too, and I like the fact that Usman beat him. Burns and Usman train together, the main training partners. I think Burns' striking looked really good. I just think that Burns needs to go out there and just not, don't try to brawl with him and don't try to please just use your defense because he could get caught. He could get caught. I mean, Woodley hits like a truck, dude. But he hasn't fought in a long time. It's been a year layoff, low output for Woodley. If Woodley doesn't hurt him, I think that Burns could definitely just outstrike him, win a decision, maybe even get a finish. If I hit the mat, I think that Burns has a better ground game than Woodley, but Woodley definitely has a better wrestling. But it would not surprise me at all if Woodley got taken down here. I do think he has one foot out the door. I mean, I was just watching this a couple of days ago. He was on this TV show on Monday, some sports TV show. I know it was recorded like a couple months ago, but still, I mean, the guy's rapping. He's on TV shows. He lost his juju. He lost his, the what's the word I'm looking for? He lost his not his momentum, but he lost his passion. Maybe. I mean, after the fight against Usman, I mean, the guy hasn't fought in a long time. I don't know what's up with him. We'll see how he does in a small cage like this because I just don't like the output for him. But he can definitely get a KO here. I mean, the guy hits like a truck, but I just like the momentum. Burns looks better every fight. Everyone's talking about Burns gassing out against Shevchenko. That was like on a week's notice. I mean, I definitely think that the cardio advantage here goes to Burns. I think he has way more volume. I think he has great boxing, a great straight right, a great straight left. He has more tools. He has more ways to win this fight. In my opinion, Woodley has to get a KO. I don't think Woodley can win a decision here. I don't. And he's also taken a lot of damage too. Both guys have been KO'd. Burns got KO'd against Hooker, but I mean, I think a lot of that had to do with the weight cut. I mean, I think 170 is the weight class for him. Usman hurt Woodley multiple times. I think Woodley's at the end of his career. I think Burns is going to go out there and make a statement. And I said the other day he's going to get a knockout in the first round. I don't know if he's going to do that. I think Burns could definitely win a decision, but I'll go with Burns with a late TKO.
Man, I'll be honest. This is a fight I just can't get a good read on it, man.
Shoot. Hey, my bad. I'm sorry, bro. My bad. Clint said a good thing on his show earlier, and I was definitely thinking about that. Burns has great leg kicks. Burns has great leg kicks, so I definitely think that he can take advantage of that and chop Woodley's leg. So diehard MMA Clint. There you go. Info from him.
Definitely, especially if Woodley's back is against the cage, like his legs are going to be there for the chopping. So I can definitely see that. But all in all, man, I can't get a good read on this fight. Like I'm going with Woodley. He's my pick. I feel like the most likely outcome here is him knocking out Gilbert Burns. We've seen Gilbert Burns, like his striking defense isn't the best. He leaves himself open, and I don't think he's truly felt that elite welterweight power before. And with Tyron Woodley, we're talking about a guy who was the number one welterweight in the world one fight ago. He lost that fight to Usman. I mean, what would Usman do to Gilbert Burns? Let's be honest here. I mean, that's a tough fight for sure. This is, I don't want to say the easiest fight, but definitely a step down for Woodley compared to what he has been fighting in recent years. But Burns definitely has been making improvements. I like the welterweight move. I think that's better for him. Like, I don't know how he was making lightweight. Like, that's a tough cut for him. But this is a good fight. If Burns can avoid the knockout shot, he's going to be the one going forward. He's going to be the one throwing more. I doubt Woodley's going to be going for takedowns. I don't think you want to be on the mat with Gilbert Burns. I don't think Gilbert Burns is definitely going to be going for takedowns. I don't think he could, to be honest. Woodley has really good takedown defense. So even if Burns wanted to get him down, I don't think he could. So I definitely see this being a stand-up fight. It's just a matter of how well Burns can fight, because I feel like if he fights to his highest potential for 25 minutes straight, which that's a shit ton to ask for sure. But if he can fight to his full potential for 25 minutes straight, I do think he can win a decision here. I get the underdog shot. I do think it's underdog or pass. It's tough, man. Like my gut's got to tell me Tyron Woodley knocks him out at least 6 out of 10 times here. It's just, even though I think that's the most likely outcome, I just can see this fight going a lot of different ways. It's a tough one. So I'll wish you luck. I'll pass, but go with Woodley. I'll say second round KO.
Yeah, man. So I just want to say thanks to everyone, in the chat watching this live. I think at one point we had 48 people in here live. I mean, it's a lot of people. So thank you guys for support. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe. I'll get back to your comments. Let's do a quick breakdown of our bets, both of us. So mine, I have 3 bets. I have a 4-unit bet on Jamal Hill minus 130. I have a 3-unit bet on Gilbert Burns at plus 155, and I have a 3-unit bet on on the Alpha Ginger plus 135. What are your bets one more time?
So the first bet I made was that Augusto Sakai plus 105. I got that for 3 units. Then I put 3 units on the Mackenzie Dern Jamal Hill parlay. I got that at plus 124. I got 4 units on Roosevelt Roberts minus 185, and I got 3 units on Casey Kenney minus 150.
All right. Just reading all the comments right now in the chat. Thanks again, guys. We will be back next week for a good card. I mean, we already talked about it earlier. I cannot wait to touch the Aljo Sandhagen fight. I already actually have a bet on that card. I bet on Anthony Rocco Martin, 3 units, plus 120. I believe I botched that line. He's plus 125. I think it's a great matchup for him versus Magny. I think the weight kicks are going to be there all day. I think he's going to hurt Magny bad and get a finish. And I'm also going to be betting on Corey Sandhagen. I'm just waiting for him to hit plus money. I have a bet with Jimmy the Drunk, $20. So on that fight, he has Aljo Sandhagen. Anything you want to say before we go?
Well, definitely next week is going to be an interesting show considering I'm picking Neal Magny and Aljamain Sterling for the win.
You are? What
I sure
the
am.
How the hell do you see Magny beating Rocco, bro?
We'll talk about that next week, brother.
You betting him?
Nah. I mean, at Juice? Nah.
Actually, to be honest, one of your bets you have next week, I don't know if you want to say it right now, but I might be joining you on that one.
One of my bets? Do I have a bet next week?
I thought you bet Chase Hooper.
Oh, yeah, I did bet. I keep forgetting that's next card.
I like Chase Hooper there a lot.
There's so many fight announcements, so many different cards going on. I can't keep track of what's on what.
I like Chase Hooper. I like Askren Jr., O'Malley Jr. I mean, the guy has no striking at all, but the guy is fucking tough as fuck.
Hey, it's getting there. And he has a chin of steel, so it's like he can afford to get hit a time or two.
Yeah, he needs to take Leroy down for sure. But I mean, Leroy gets taken down by everybody, so I definitely think it's gonna happen.
We'll talk about that for sure.
Yeah. So all right, guys, we'll be back next week. Check Twitter and see if we, our bets. Check our bet MMA for our track plays, and we'll be back later, guys.